Yo, what's up guys? So we have even more new Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Looks like we got some more Noble Knights, and on top of that, we've got a Water Leviathan. I mean, that's pretty cool, but this is for the @Ignisters, the AI. Anyways, let's go ahead and check out all of these cards. So, first off, we have the new other cards, the other new cards. Anyways, Flame Noble Knight Roland is a new level 1 Fire Warrior effect monster with 500. And it says you can only use his cards' first and second effects once per turn each. The first effect, as a quick effect, you can target one face-up monster you control and equip this card from your hand to that target. It gains 500 attack. And then during the end phase, if this card is in your graveyard because it was sent there this turn, you get to add a Fire Warrior monster or one equipped spell from your deck to your hand. Wow! Dude, this effect is absolutely insane. If it wasn't, you had to wait till the end phase. But at the end of the day, it still does offer that effect. And then technically, when you're using the new God Phoenix card, obviously you're able to detach it and then search out another card and then go off from there. So it's a very decent little card to recycle. And what's really good with this is it can search itself. It doesn't say like you can't search itself. So that's actually pretty cool. And it being a quick effect can give your opponent that surprise. I like it. He's definitely a very viable card. I don't know if I would you guys even run this card in Noble Knights? Like, I don't know. I haven't seen Noble Knights see any play in a really long time. Even though they got, I believe they got a Link monster like a long time ago. It's just, that deck just doesn't see some play. Anyways, this card was a reference to Song of Roland. Okay, we don't care about lore here. Okay, we're here for the effects. Unless it's like cheeky. Anyways, this is a new, what the heck, why is it not in the middle? Okay, great editing, Kappa. Anyways, we have, we have Gear Breed, which is a continuous spell card that says you can only use this card's name first and second effects once per turn each. The first effect is during your draw phase, instead of conducting your normal draw, you get to add one equipped spell from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Okay. The second effect is if you control an equipped spell, you get to return one Fire Warrior monster or one Gemini monster from your graveyard to the bottom of your deck and draw one card. Okay, so that's not too bad, considering, I mean, this already, it has like an active live effect of just making it itself really good. And looking at this card's artwork, I don't know if any of you guys watched some anime High School DxD. I mean, the artwork, yo, we getting copy strikes here pretty soon. If you guys know what I'm talking about. Don't Google High School DxD, by the way. Anyways, next up though, this is the Raptunus Supreme Magic Blade, which is an equipped spell card that says you can only use this card's second effect once per turn. The first effect is to apply one of these effects depending on the equipped monster's battle position. In attack position, it cannot be targeted by an opponent's card effect. The other part of the first effect is defense position. It cannot be destroyed by battle. Okay. The second part of it says at the start of the battle phase, you can change the battle position of the equipped monster, and if you do, immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon one monster. Yeah, wait, what? Can we just use this in categories? I mean, we're changing those battle positions. Interesting enough. Okay, I mean, it does give you that extra potential, but it is at the battle phase, and at that point, you want to go off before the battle phase, generally with any combo decks. Not too bad. All right, next up, that we have Crossover, which is a normal spell card, and I believe we did go over the effect of this one, which is target one face-up monster your opponent controls and one warrior monster you control. Treat the first target as an equipped card, and if you do, equip it to that monster you control, and if you do that, it inflicts battle damage to your opponent for the rest of the turn. Oh, inflicts no battle damage to your opponent for the rest of the turn. If it would destroy battle of a card effect, you destroy the monster equipped to by this card effect instead. So yeah, this card got announced like I want to say like a week or two ago. I did already cover it, but nonetheless, it's an okay card. I think that the card that actually is actually really good is actually Roland out of all of these, and on top of that, the Gear Breed is actually really good for the archetype. But anyways, onwards with the new @Ignisters, and there's actually a ton of them. Yo, we hit that 10-minute ad revenue. Let's go. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So it's AI's tribute theme to his fallen friends and comrades and the OCG counterparts revealed. Okay, cool. Anyways, Picari @Ignister, which is a level 4 Light Cybers effect monster with 1200 attack, 600 defense points, and it says you can only use this card's first and second effects once per turn each. The first effect being if this card is normal or special, add an AI spell or trap from your deck to your hand. The second effect is you get to target one @Ignister monster you control that has level. It becomes level 4 until the end of this turn. Okay, I like that first effect. Is definitely going to see some play if the AI Ignisters are actually really good. Next up, we have Buru @Ignister. Level 3 Wind Cybers Tuner effect monster with 600 attack and 1000 defense. It says you can only use this card's name first and second effects once per turn each. The first effect is if it's normal or special, you just send an @Ignister monster from your deck to the graveyard. The second effect is if this card is sent to the graveyard as material for the synchro summon of a Cybers monster, you can target one monster in your graveyard that was used as material for that synchro summon except for itself, and then special summon it. Next up, we have the God Ignister. It's a level 4 Dark Cyber's effect monster with 400 attack and 1600 defense points. It says you can only use this card's first and second effects once per turn each. If this card is normal or special, you get to target an Ignister monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. If this card is sent to the graveyard as material for link summon of a Cyber's monster, you can target a spell or trap and add it to your hand. Okay, so they have a lot of potentially good cards, but it all depends on like what kind of boss monsters you're going to be able to make with this deck. But anyways, next up we have the Archetype Ignister, level 2 Cyber's effect monster, 800, and it says you can only use this card's first and second effects once per turn each. If this card is normal or special, you get to add a level 4 or lower Ignister monster from your deck to your hand, except for itself. The second effect is if a battle involves a Cyber's monster you control at the start of damage step, you can banish this card from graveyard and destroy your battling monster. Okay, interesting. Next up, we have the Doshin Ignister, which is level 1 Earth Cyber's effect monster with 100 attack and 800 defense points. It says you can only use this card's name first and second effects once per turn each. If you control an Ignister monster, you can special this card from your hand. The second effect is you can target one Cyber's Link monster in graveyard, return to the X deck, and if you do, add one AI Love Fusion from your deck to your hand. Oh, okay, I guess we're getting some fusion monsters for him too. Next up, we have Hayari Ignister, which is level 1 Cyber's effect monster. A lot of new level 1s. That's probably why we got 1-for-1 at 2 in the OCG. But the real question is, yo, can we just get it for the Atlantean Prince here in the TCG? Because that would be super easy to pull off those combos. Anyways, 300 attack, 400 defense points. It says you can only use cards first and second effects once per turn each. First effect is if you control an Ignister monster, you special it from the hand. Second effect is you contribute one other Cyber's monster to add a level 5 or higher Ignister monster from your deck to your hand. And if you do, this card's level becomes 4 until the end of the turn. And if you tributed a Link monster to activate this effect, you could add one of A's rituals. What the heck? They're getting rituals? Okay. I was not expecting that. I was expecting this to be a Link deck. Okay, well, I guess this is the ritual here. The Water Leviathan Ignister, which is a level 7 Water Cyber's ritual effect monster, 2300 attack and 200 defense points, or 2000 defense points. And it says you can ritual summon this card with AI's ritual. You can only use this card's second effect once per turn. This card is ritual summon. You can return all monsters your opponent controls with 2300 or less attack to the hand. If you can, you can also target one face-up monster your opponent controls and return from your graveyard to the extra deck as many Link monsters as possible. And if you do, the targeted monster's attack becomes 0. Oh, okay. I got it. You make it attack 0, bounce everything. But this effect gets its effect when it's ritual summoned, and this is it's not even a quick effect. Interesting enough. Anyways, third effect is once per battle, if this card battles an opponent's monster in damage calculation only, you can have that opponent's monster's attack during this damage calculation only. All right. So I guess the idea, go for a bunch of stuff, and then I guess you can bounce everything back, and then if there's something that's high, you make its attack become 0, and you just go ahead and smack them. I think more than likely, any monster that's going to be like viable in the game that your opponent's just going to leave out on the board is more than likely going to negate and destroy this effect or stop you from getting this card out in the first place. But I guess if you go for a Link card and let they negate that effect, and then you could just go into this, potentially, if they just negate the effect and do not destroy the monster, I guess that's kind of okay. But anyways, let's check out the fusion here. Now we have the Earth Golem Ignister. I guess these are, wait, they're both of the boss, I guess kind of their boss monsters. I mean, being able to bounce back everything is pretty good, right? And they're both level 7, I just noticed that. Anyways, we have the Earth Golem Ignister, which is a level 7 Earth Cyber's fusion effect monster with 2300 attack and 2000 defense points. And its materials are 1 Cyber's monster plus 1+ Link monster. It says you can only use this card's name third effect once per turn. First effect is, after this card is fusion summoned, you take no damage for the rest of the turn. Okay. If this card attacks a special summon monster, summoned from the X deck, it gains attack equal to its original attack during the damage step only. I think, wait, does that mean it gains attack to that monster's attack, or this card itself, so it just becomes 4,600? And either way, it's probably running over most of the things anyways. And then the third effect is when this card is destroyed by battle, you get to target Cyber's monster graveyard, except for itself. Ooh, whoa, any Cybers. That's actually really not too bad. And then next up, we have the Wind Pegasus Ignister, another level 7 Wind Cyber Synchro Effect monster with 2300 attack and 1500 defense points, and it's generic, so it's 1 tuner plus 1+ non-tuner monsters. It says you can only use this card's name's first and second effects once per turn each. The first effect being, during your main phase, you can destroy spells and traps or traps your opponent controls up to the number of Ignister monsters you control. The second effect is, if another card you control is destroyed by battle or opponent's card effect while this card is in your field or in your graveyard, you can banish this card, then target one card your opponent controls and shuffle into the deck. That's actually a really good effect if you use this as stepping stone. But what's interesting is, like, if you make these, what are you supposed to go into? You make these and then go for like a link monster? Maybe everything will make sense with some of the other cards we'll check out in a second here. Next up, we have Ignister AI Land, which is our field spell card that says you can only use this card's name second effect once per turn. If you control no monsters in your main monster zones, you can activate this effect. For the rest of the turn, you cannot special summon monsters except for Cyberse monsters, even if this card leaves the field. Also, special summon one level 4 or lower Ignister monster from your hand. If you do, you can't special summon monsters with its original attribute by the effect of Ignister AI Land for the rest of the turn, even if this card leaves the field. Gosh, the effect. The second effect is, if this card is in your graveyard, you can banish an Ignister monster from your graveyard to set this card on your field. Okay, so I guess you're just able to continuously go off with your combos, get you additional plays. And next up, we have the KCM AI Duel Reborn, which is a quick play spell card that says you can only use this card's first and second effects once per turn each. The first effect is target an Ignister monster in your graveyard, spell summon it. Also, for the rest of the turn after this card resolves, you cannot spell summon monsters except for Cyberse monsters. The second effect is when an attack is declared involving 2 monsters, you can banish this card from your graveyard and 1 card from your hand and target an AI spell / trap in your possession that is banished or in the graveyard except for AI Duel Reborn and add it to your hand. Okay, being able to special summon some of these cards can be very, very strong. Because like this card gets its effect while it's in the field or graveyard, and then you can just have something, I guess, go away. Again, if this effect was a quick effect, the water ritual, I think it would be so much better. Next up, though, we have the AI Love Fusion. So this is a normal spell card that says you can only activate 1 card with this card's name per turn. If it says as first effect, fusion summon 1 Cyberse Fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material. And if you use an Ignister monster in your position as fusion material, you can also use up to 1 link monster your opponent controls. Ooh, that's really good. That is really good. I like this. This is definitely great cards indeed. I wonder if some people will just like tech this in like a side deck or even just main deck, because you just have to have one, and like the summoning requirements for most of them aren't that bad at all if you are just playing it in a pure deck. But we'll see if anyone actually just tries to just splash them into other things. And next up, though, we have the AI Ritual, which is a ritual spell card that says this card is used to ritual summon any Cyberse ritual monster. Choose 1 Cyberse ritual monster in your hand. If you do, treat other Ignister monsters from your hand or field whose total levels equal or exceed the chosen monster's level, and after that, ritual summon the chosen monster. If you control Ignister monster at activation, you can also use Ignister monsters in your graveyard by banishing them. Okay, so that's not too bad. I mean, overall, I feel like I thought we were going to exceed because they were just a bunch of level 7s, but I guess you can go into something as long as it has to be like the same type, because they did have that restriction on a few of the cards where it's like you can only go for the Ignister or go for Cyberse. I don't know how I feel about them. I mean, they have a lot of potential. I would say 3 of their boss monsters are kind of mediocre. I like the Wind Pegasus, but the attack is too low. Yeah, you can bounce back everything, but on top of like being able to like pop spells and traps, like if the spell and trap doesn't stop their effect in the first place, then the spell and trap was almost useless to begin with in the game. But that's at least how I feel. The game has just gotten too fast for a lot of these guys to really be able to shine. But again, you guys can let me know your thoughts on any of them below. But I feel like the new Fire Structure deck or Starter deck is going to be absolutely amazing. I've already made several videos on how good it is. If you guys are new to the channel, you haven't seen that, definitely check that out. It's going to be like a real cheap way. Spend 30 bucks and you have probably a competitive Yu-Gi-Oh deck. Another thing I wanted to mention in this jump here is we're also getting a reprint of Max C. This was just actually announced also in the new Structure deck. We're getting a reprint of Max C. So I'm wondering in the TCG if we're going to get a replacement card, because sometimes when our ban list is different from the OCG, we also could be seeing Max C potentially be getting unbanned. Let me know how you guys feel about that down below. I feel like Nibiru kind of solves it, but for those other decks, it can still be good. I mean, I would still, even if I'm gonna side deck triple copies of Nibiru, I would just main deck 3 copies of Max C. Like, who not special summoned in 2019? that you're not going to get like an immense value of. But nonetheless, I thought I'd mention it really quick. But let me know, guys, how you feel if Maxi does come back into the game. Because like I said, it sometimes I remember Stratos, when Stratos was banned, we got like some Avian or something. We got something really weird in the structure deck. So we could get a different card. But we could just get Maxi, and Maxi would definitely, I mean, if they reprint it, I mean, more than likely it would come off the ban list. That would make the most sense. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. And if you did, drop a like on it. If you're new here, want to be keeping up to date with all the new, latest, and hottest Yu-Gi-Oh cards, hit the subscribe button, turn on that bell, and you'll definitely see more. And if you guys want to see any of the gameplay, it'll be out very soon as well. Actually, I already got one done. But if you guys want to send me any other replays of like the new @Ignisters, I would love to see that. Send it to AzneyesReplays@gmail.com. But thanks for watching, and peace.